Welcome back. In the previous lesson we looked at the chord of D major. I also introduced you to how to give the guitar a numbering system to help play the chords. We gave the strings numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 1 being the thinnest and 6 being the thickest. And we also numbered the frets, 0 at the nut and fret 1 and so on up the guitar. Today we're going to be looking at two more chords. We're going to be looking at the chord of A or A major and E major. So let's make a start. Let's have a look at the A chord. As you can see, two yellow markers again, which is where the string passes over the nut. That is where the notes are made, and importantly for the A chord, string 5 is the A string and the note is where string 5 passes over the nut. It's an open string, as is the bottom string here. What note is that? Well, it's the note of E. What we have at the top here is the 6th string. We do not play that string in this chord position. Other than that, you've got the three green markers again, which shows us where we put the first, second and third finger of your left hand. The first finger is going on the 4th string, 2nd fret. The second finger is going on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. And finally, the third finger here is going on the 2nd string at the 2nd fret. So again, first finger's here, second finger, and then third finger. So if I now put them on, that's how I would then put them onto the fretboard. 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2 and 3. Now because each of the fingers is going into the 2nd fret, it means that we can't actually put them one on top of the other in a straight line. The third finger, as you can see here, is the closest to the fret, and the first finger is further away. We have to do that because it would be really uncomfortable to play the guitar with the fingers stacked one above the other. You can also see how I've actually arched the fingers to be able to fret the notes. Again, if I just lay the fingers down, they would touch strings either side, which would cause the strings to buzz, or they would sound muffled, they wouldn't sound right. We have to put a little bit of a bend in the fingers to be able to fret the guitar fretboard cleanly. I will now show you what that chord sounds like. I'm now going to pick each string, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we can hear that all strings are sounding correct. Again, if I was leaning my fingers too far back, you kind of get those notes, which is why we have to put a little bit of a bend in the fingers to be able to touch the notes cleanly. We do this by putting one finger on at a time. So remembering the A string, which is string 5, gets its note from the open position. It's an open string. So let's put that first finger on and let's try 5 and 4. Now let's join it with with finger number 2 underneath. We can now play strings 5, 4, 3. And then finally we put the third finger on underneath again, and now we can play strings 5, 4, 3, 2. And if we've arched the fingers enough, we can now join it with string 1, and now we can play. And if we strum them all together, or if we play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back on ourselves, it'll sound like this. Let's have a look at the E chord. We can now see that we have the yellow markers on the 6th string, the 1st and the 2nd. That's the 0th fret, they are open strings. Importantly for the E chord, we have a note of E on the 6th string at this position, and we also have one on the 1st string too. You can see the green markers, which shows us where we put the first 3 fingers of the left hand, and the first finger will be going on this string here, which is your 3rd string, 1st fret. The second finger will be going here, so that's going onto the 5th string at the 2nd fret. And then finally the 3rd finger will be going underneath that finger onto the 4th string at the 2nd fret. So if I put them on, always put your fingers on in order, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4 if you were using 4 fingers. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And to show you what that's looking like, 1, 2, 3. The second finger is going above the 3rd. And because both fingers are in the 2nd fret area, they can't be stacked one above the other. It'll be feel uncomfortable. They're slightly at an angle to each other. The 3rd finger being the closest to the fret and the 2nd finger being slightly behind it. And again, as you can see here, I've got the fingers arched in order that the fingertips touch the fretboard without touching strings on either side. The 4th finger doesn't do anything in this position. Let's have a look at what that chord sounds like. So chord E. So this is the chord where we play all 6 strings, and it's a little bit more tricky, but with perseverance and practice it'll actually become very, very easy. And that's the same with all guitar chords. The more you try them, the easier they become. The more you play with the left hand and the right hand, then what happens is the fingers kind of learn what to do to such a point that you don't even have to think about it. It just works, it just happens. But it does take a lot of practice to get to that position. Having said that, I've got no doubt if you were to practice chords D, A and E every day for 2 weeks, you would be able to play them. It would just work. Yes, you have to get through the fingers feeling sore, because you do have to apply pressure onto these strings, and they're made of steel, so they will hurt a little bit, but eventually that soreness does stop, and eventually the fingers just remember the chord shapes, because that's kind of what we're talking about, is getting the fingers to remember shapes. The D, the A and the E. And in the next lesson I'll be explaining a little bit more about chord shapes. But for now, let's have a look at the E chord. So the first finger is going on to the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. Second finger is going on to the 5th string at the 2nd fret, and then the 3rd finger is underneath that one. The 4th finger we don't use. So let's pick each string, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then each note is sounding clear. Again, if we weren't putting a bend in the fingers, if we weren't arching them, if we were lying them flat, unfortunately the fingers would start hitting the strings either side, so we get these notes. Or buzzing. So we have to take the fingers off and put them back on one at a time. So the way I'm going to do for the E chord is I'm going to put the first finger onto the 3rd string, 1st fret, and I'm going to play it to make sure it's fine. I'm now going to put the 2nd finger onto the 5th string, 2nd fret. I'm going to play that one, and I'm going to play the 1st finger, and now I'm going to try and play all the strings including those 2 fingers. chord doesn't sound quite right because I haven't got the third finger on, but all the strings are sounding clear. I now put the last finger on, and now I'm going to be picking each string. And there you go, all the strings are sounding correct. I can either strum them, or I can pick each one, or I can pick each one and then come back, such as this. So there you go, we've now learned 3 chords: D major, A major and E major. In the next lesson we will be looking at the same chords, but they will be called minor chords. So until the next time, please enjoy learning those 2 new chords. Thank you.